Good morning, everyone. We'll start with the pledge. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dr. Fulton, see the prayer, please.
Lord, we thank you today for your love for us, your care, not only for us as individuals, but for our communities. We thank you for these men who serve, our commissioners. We pray for your godly wisdom, your help, your strength, your courage to just be in their hearts and their lives. Thank you for their service. We just pray that this county will experience your blessing, your grace would be overshadowed over it, that the people would enjoy the benefits of your blessing. Thank you for it today. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right. When you get ready to make a motion on the minutes, I went ahead and sent you the ones from Friday too, so if you could include both.
Both minutes.
I make a motion. I've read the minutes from last week's meeting and Friday's special meeting. I make a motion that we approve them as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Claims are sitting there. And then Jim, I'll have two for you to sign next week because that runs a week behind on the
Yeah,
sign.
Right.
Okay. Is it going to be in the bills next week or something? Okay, our next one. Okay, I'll make a motion. We pay the bills at the amount of $415,720.05. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Gary just passed me the bills for the construction for Fayette.
22.
It's not in these bills, it'll be in next week, but a lot of times I look it over there.
Is this about the last one that we'll make until we,
Get down to the end.
Getting pretty close.
You can tell by the amount.
still pretty big.
So typically we've had you guys make a motion to approve that.
Don't look at this now.
Yeah. Okay. Look at it. I'll look through it.
You want to wait till a little later? And
Yeah, we should.
okay. I do have ads and abates. I've got 2021-161 through 167. And the total change on that is an increase of $237.06 in taxes.
I make a motion, we accept the ads and debates and the amount David stated and the numbers.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and then I've got some more things for you. Okay, sheriff's report for the week.
Sheriff's reports, total prisoners 18. 8 releases this past week. Total of prisoners in the house 16. Farmed out to 911 calls, 144. Total calls for service 266. Civil service papers served 13. Bin inspections 11. New cases open 9. 7 closed. 4 vehicle crashes. 105 bailiff activities, and 3 livestock out. And the open house was held in Linn County Justice Center. We estimate 500 in total attendance, with the 300 on Friday and another 200 on Saturday.
Good deal.
The sheriff's department, they did an awesome job of taking everybody through, and I went through a few of them, just kind of sat back and let them do their thing, and They conducted themselves really well and did an awesome job, so.
Just got an email from Missy. Let me get back to it here. Says she will not be here today and says they're having some air conditioning problems. So I don't know what's going on with that yet. So I think that's all I've got for now anyway.
AMR?
Good morning, Louis Saloy, Operations Supervisor, AMR here in Linn County. Galen's on PTO, so here I am. Call volume is back up to normal, averaging about 4.25 calls per day. 26 calls for service last week, 19 transports. Staffing wise, we had a little COVID issue. We've been actually down 2 paramedics and an EMT for a little over 6 months now. And then last week, it got really bad. We had 5 people go out with COVID. They have mandatory 5 days. And we somehow covered it, and right in the darkest of days, we were able to retrieve a paramedic and an EMT to bring down here. So we're pretty excited to have some new staff. They will be brand new, unlike normally we're trying to get the most seasoned of veterans, and we actually were able to lasso the medic down by paying for his paramedic school. So we came $7,500 out of pocket to get him because they're just not available anymore. Last year, there was only 10,000 paramedics who certified with the National Registry of EMTs. And there's probably a 10,000 paramedic shortage just on the East Coast. So we're definitely finding new ways to recruit and retain. We spent a week in class last week on strictly recruitment and retention of our employees other than just throwing money at them, how to make them happy, how to keep them happy, how to keep them there. And paying for their school was one of them, and we were able to secure one. So now one will start the end of this month, the other will start the middle of August, and then we'll just be searching for one more medic. So things are looking up. I think it's pretty good. Questions?
I don't have any.
No, thanks.
Thank you. Randy?
Good morning, Commissioners. The weekly run numbers I gave in front of you, kind of had a typo on that front part. The top one's medical assist, EMS assist. We had 8 incidents for this week. It brings our yearly total up to 302. I have 2 applications for Station 920. 920 is currently at 12 out of 22 members, so with these 2, I'd put them up to 14 out of 22. I'd like permission to hire them as probationary firefighters pending the pre-employment screenings. Would you like the names?
I don't have the names. Yeah, names, I guess.
Bobby England and Kaylee England. They both live right around the corner from the station. They're in Pleasanton. They were both previous on 920 a couple years ago, so they've moved back to the area, and that's the reason they left before, was they'd moved out of the area, and they've moved back and looking to get back on that station. So, like I said, just permission to hire them as probationary pending that.
I make a motion to hire him as probationary fireman.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We've received the grain rescue equipment trailer. It's at Station 920. We're getting the equipment put in it. That's something that was bought with the previous chief had bought, but we finally got that trailer. We have a set of rescue equipment down due to hose breaking in Station 920. So we get vehicle wrecks. We're kind of seeing who we page out to get the other 3 extrication equipment over that area on wrecks. But other than that, That's all I have unless you guys have questions.
I don't have any.
Hey, the EMS trailer that we had, our emergency maintenance, emergency trailer that we had for so long, and I think it's sitting down there, I think by the county barn, at least it was. You and the sheriff's, did you share it? Is it still operational?
The command center,
Yeah,
it sets at 920 and it's
it is
up.
operational.
plugged in, ready to go and
Okay.
operational. So
Okay, thanks.
The paint, do you know, the painting on the building, on all the stations, is that complete or?
that is complete. They've been back, done the touch up work. Everything
Looks good.
looks good. They did leave a gallon touch up paint for us if something happens farther down, but the painting is all done and the signs are all up on the station.
Pleased with everything.
Yeah. So,
That's all I have.
okay.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Mike, you got something?
You guys don't have a chance to look at that. Hey,
You look at that.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to come for you today to remind you that fair's coming up and see if it was, I know we'd been through this before on using a roller and the blade and everything down there for tractor pulls and stuff. I just wanted to come and make sure it was still okay. I mean,
Every year you explain the legalities of it.
as long as for public purpose, and it is.
and the county employees, the only ones that can run them, and I'm the one that runs them, so.
And you got people that volunteered to do that? Not volunteered to pay, but volunteered to operate the equipment.
Me.
You?
You're the man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you get when you're on the fair board too, I guess.
There you go.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Alright.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Sean? Eager to come.
Don West, Public Works Administrator, along with what Mike was talking about, Roger Carbon came to me last week and wanted to know about, as we mow around that area, helping prep for that, about spraying some Johnson grass and stuff. So I sent Johnny down there to take a look at it. And it shouldn't be an issue. Mike's going to get it mowed down and then we're going to go through and take care of that as well. A couple of things for you. Joyce has got your cost summaries.
Are we doing, I guess we're doing some asphalt projects now. I mean, is there,
Yes, they're trying to start up on that now. They've worked on one of the projects, let me find it. The pads for the tank, Todd's got those ready. The old tanks have been removed at Pleasanton. He's got the pad prepped. Now we're waiting on some information on the electrical and emergency shutoffs to bring in those tanks and get that process started. This coming week, Kevin and I will be entering him in as an instructor on the CDL program so that we can get that started and start training our first employee.
How many can you train at a time?
There isn't a limitation for the amount of people. The only big change to all of this is we're sticking to a format that fits the program, and we're accounting for their hours in the program. We're basically documenting the training. The biggest thing from what we used to do to compare to what we're going to do now is we're going to document and report that training that we provide them.
how many
So
hours of training is there for each individual?
there is no required hours. When the instructor says they're ready to go take their test after the first block of instruction, they'll go down and get their permit and they come back and then they take the on-road portion. And when the instructor says that they're ready for the driver's test, then they go for that. So it is very unique to the individual. When the instructor believes that person's capable, that is when we send them. We just document how long it took and what training we provided them. Last week, Jessica went to the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law Summit in Wichita. She said it went well and that there's funding coming out for bridging, which is needed across the state. Last week, Commissioner McCullough, myself, Mike, met with state officials out on the state line about the water issues coming over from Missouri. It's a pretty positive meeting. They believe that there may be some reclamation projects going on across the state line. They're going to work to give us contact information for their counterparts over there and believe that they can incorporate a lot of the work that's needed to stop this problem into their project. I've already had one email back from her, but I haven't. She's going to forward on the information in her next email for all those contacts. We also made contact with the property owner on our side of the line where that water's coming on to the Kansas side. Had a pretty productive meeting, gained phone numbers and contacts for him, and hopefully we'll be able to include him in our discussions as we go forward. I also made contact with our inspector and received an email just this morning letting me know that they're having a discussion on the mattress issue for our landfill. They pretty well told me they're waiting for one more inspector, the one for our area, to make contact with them. What I've asked them basically is to review the change, not anything other than accounting for why we're having a change after so many years of doing it that way. That's going to be somewhat costly to the county. They understand the logistics of it and are going to get back to me hopefully sometime this week. Noxious weeds. You asked about last week. I do have some updates on that. They've been able to spray a lot of the hard surface roadways, and the map that I'm going to give you is a week behind. So they're trying to move up into the northern areas and finish up. I just talked to Mike, and he said they are following his mowers as well now. And then there's also a task list of all the service requests they've had for spraying other than roadways as well in this time period. And to note the service request, there's a lot of, I believe, parking lots, tank areas, storage areas. For this week, they went to the landfill, sprayed 250 gallons over gravel areas around buildings and equipment, around the used tire area as well. The storage building west of the annex, they also completed a service request for it. And the Pleasanton shop area where we're going to install those fuel tanks, they sprayed that area to prep it, not only for the tanks, but we're going to have to put some gravel around it for our containment area. They also did a distance of road spraying for a resident that contacted them with concerns near 52, on Scott, near 52. A lot of the off-road areas or gravel road areas that they've been spraying have been on complaints and concerns as they come in as well. If they're trying to get all the hard surface roadways first, but any other complaints that come in and service tickets that they get, they're going directly to those as well while they're doing their other spraying. I did talk to Johnny about the future as we go on with this program, and we're going to focus on the high traffic areas, but he did advise me what the costs were to do all of the roadways in the county, chemicals alone, to budget for those, and that's quite a large sum. So I think what he's trying to do this year is a pretty good start with our hard surface roadways first, the complaints and the service tickets, and try to get the bulk of it knocked down as we go and continue the program as we go along. Planning and zoning, there's a public hearing for the comprehensive plan on August 9th at 8 PM during the planning and zoning meeting. And then it will come before the commissioners the following Monday if it's approved, or their recommendation, I'm sorry.
What was the date?
August 9th, 8 PM. During the planning and zoning meeting, there'll be a public hearing for the comprehensive plan.
Who's invited besides the committee? Is the public invited?
Yes.
It's public here, the public opportunity to come speak their mind.
The only thing I have left after that is a request for 10 minutes for non-elected personnel. And if you have any questions for me.
I have a question on recycling.
Sure.
Don't think we've seen anything on recycling as far as amounts of stuff sold. Normally you take plastic at a certain time and cardboard. I haven't had any reports on that. And it shows here that, is that $6,000 that he spent on recycling costs?
I do not have that in front of me. I handed out all the copies, so I will have to look at those and try to get you the numbers.
Yeah, just find out what he sold this year over the entire.
Glass, cardboard, all the recyclables.
Probably
Yeah.
costs as far as.
Yeah, and glass too, because all of them, if he's actually holding them off. And the other one is to sanitize the coat for COVID-19. Is that over with? Are we still sanitizing? You got a $2,351 bill there for total cost for that. Do you know anything about the COVID? You got the category here, sanitize for COVID-19.
Under maintenance.
Now, runner, it's a line item on this paper.
Okay, I'll have to get clarification on it as well.
And then what does sign maintenance entail? You got a $7,300 for sign maintenance. Is that, hey, Mike, don't leave. Is that for buying signs or?
We have been, starting at the south end of the county, we have been installing new signs going north and repairing signs as well as the service requests come in.
And I know you don't have that in front of you, but it says, it's got the labor costs, it's got the equipment costs, and then it says, material cost is $174. So we've had some in stock? Is that what it is? Stop signs and road signs?
We do have stock on commonly used signs, and we have been replacing several because over the last several months,
Right.
we've had damage to quite a few.
Okay. Those are the questions I had.
Our mail's at 8 again.
That's all I got.
You have anything, Danny? Thanks, Sean. I don't have anything. Guess I do what this material costs in the foreman section is. I see that. You,
53,000?
no, the material cost,
Where's that?
40,450. Am I looking at it right on the foreman? Look across here.
No, okay, I got you.
Or up
right here.
That's what that is.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him. We'll see him.
You have anything, Gary?
Just that pay request, that was it.
Are we doing it? How are we doing the final walkthrough on this, Gary? Like the last final walkthrough before,
Well, we'll just agree with the architect and the construct contractor as to when we're gonna do it, and whoever, whatever of you guys wanna participate can. There's no point in doing it before we get the occupancy permit.
How far away from that? Does anybody know?
It's anticipated that the fire marshal will make his final inspection this week. We don't have a date set yet, at least we didn't as of Friday afternoon. But if they've done everything that he wanted corrected, and
I thought he only had to take pictures and send it to him.
they had to take pictures sent to him, and then he's going to come down and inspect it.
Oh, okay.
which was a furniture fire rating and then a few exit signs, right?
Yeah, it was
Petty stuff, right?
what I would consider petty
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Nothing major that we were
There
like,
was one fire door was not set up like he wanted it,
Okay.
a couple other things, but they've got them all squared away. And they documented all that to him on Monday or Tuesday of last week.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of getting them down here. So they hope that they'll be here this week.
How many total change orders were there, Gary? What number were we on? It was less than 23, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think there was change orders with 19 maybe. I don't know. I don't have that file with me, Danny.
I could, give me just a second to search this minutes file. I could see what the last one was we approved.
I was just curious because that low of change orders is impressive to me just because the line of work I'm in. There's
Some of those were-
100, so.
positive for us too.
Yeah, some of those change orders actually are orders.
Yeah, the last one I see in the minutes was change order number 17, and that was on June 6th.
That would be the last one. That was putting money back in our.
So that's pretty impressive to me. Just tells,
I think they've really worked to stay on top of things and make sure that everybody was held to the extent possible, held to the original plan, original bids. They haven't let much slip by them, I don't think.
I'd make a motion that we approve the pay application 22 for $75,855.64.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have anything else, David?
Well, we talk about the budgets a little bit at some point, but
Anybody else need any more executive?
I'm not aware of anything else.
Well, I guess all we need is go in executive session for 10 minutes with non-elected personnel with Sean.
That's your motion.
Motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you that I went through the thing of the Justice Center on Friday, and it's impressive. You guys really, to the novice, you really did your homework. Appreciate what was spent.
There's no action from executive sessions.
I'm sorry, I missed one of my points on my talk this morning. I had contact with Peppercorn, our engineering company for the Bakken Road project, and have been advised that that project kicks off this morning and that the road will be closed for traffic for 60 days. So we are
Bridge over on at 31.
31 in Botkin, just north of 31 Highway on Botkin, that section of road. And I did ship that out via email to the Sheriff's Department, dispatch, our county road foremans and supervisors. So if I did not include anybody, I tried to get it through dispatch so that they would at least contact all the emergency responders. But that is and will be closed from this morning for an estimated 60 days.
So we got a way for people to get around through there if the road's closed, right?
The mile section before
Right.
and afterwards are all open, so, and we're talking about,
So we got detours since they can't use that road?
I haven't checked the signage and we'll have to go out this morning to make sure that they've appropriately signed the area.
Okay.
So, but I'll make sure that they've got plenty of
I
notice.
mean, most of the people will know, but like, some of the companies delivering stuff may not
Correct,
to people's
correct.
property.
Thank you.
Is that just on the north side of 31? Is that where that is?
Yes, it's just it's 25 feet off of 31, maybe 30.
Did you guys come see us? Just so. Okay. What else you got?
The only other thing I had was just a little update on where we're at with the budget. I pretty much emailed you what my update is this weekend, I think, but just kind of go over that. Let me open that up so I can see what all I sent. I know I have it here somewhere.
Budget adjustments.
There we go. Budget adjustments. So I did come in this weekend and work on budgets. The income adjustments I made, I went through the delinquent taxes that have been paid this year and kind of compared it to last year and what we brought in throughout the rest of the year. And I picked up quite a bit more in delinquent there than what I had in the original estimate. And that's the part I want to get with Janet this week and just make sure we're okay the way I'm looking at that. But there was a fair amount of income I picked up from that. I adjusted the income on fuel sales at the airport to match closer to what we were showing in fuel we were going to buy. So that helped us out on that part too. So with those adjustments before cost of living, it actually got us down below revenue neutral. So the next thing I've got to work on is I've saved a list of all the current employees with the calculation of what the 5% will do to each individual's salary and split that up by the departments. I have not had time to go back and insert that in all the budgets yet. So when I do that, I probably will have a few department heads I need to talk to in case I come up with numbers that are quite a bit different than what they were showing in their budget request, and I'll need to check in with them and see why we're off, and maybe the list I pulled was missing somebody or something. But if that list would come out to the amount that I had estimated on the cost of living, that would put us in the neighborhood of 171,000 over revenue neutral. So then that's the amount that I'll need to reduce our reserve funds by to get us to the revenue neutral rate, which is where you guys voted to be. So that work will be going on throughout this week. And just when I hit that number, it kind of threw up a red flag in my head because that's about how much we went under revenue neutral last year. So really, if we hadn't gone under last year, we'd have been right on it without dipping into the reserves any farther this year. So just wanted you guys to know that.
That'll be our new storyline next year too.
The other part, the rural fire, since it's separate in a special district, with the cuts that Randy had talked about Friday, it was still just a few dollars short of meeting revenue neutral on that one. And then I had not done the cost of living on that yet either. So I'm gonna have to look for some more things to adjust there to get that one to the neutral rate. I talked to Randy for just a couple of minutes this morning and asked him to find some time this week to come meet with me so we can go through those and see what we need to do. The one thing I did think of this weekend when I was working on it is right now we pay D Horder completely out of fire. We pay Linda Simons completely out of emergency management, and Randy's we've got 50-50 between the two. If it came down to it, we could adjust that percentage just a little bit, take a little more out of emergency management to get fire down to where it needs to be. So that's one of the things I'll talk to him about too. But that's kind of where we are on it right now. What I would like to do is have all of that ready for you to review next week so that we could get it published in next week's paper. If we did next week's paper, we could have the budget hearing as early as August 8th. 15th is the deadline when we're supposed to have that hearing, no later than the 15th, which would be the following Monday. So we could pick either one, and that part doesn't matter a lot to me on the timing of the budget. The only thing is the 15th is when we're going to be doing the canvas of the election.
So you'd rather do it the 8th?
So I'd probably rather go the 8th, but that's going to require getting it in next week's paper to give our 10-day notice in time to do the 8th.
Okay.
So is there anything else you guys are looking for on budget, or just keep working on that part and bring it in next week, or where do you want to go on it?
Yeah, I don't have any other changes I would recommend.
What's that do to the emergency management if you take more out of it?
Well, emergency management's in the general fund, so it'd just be on the county side, and I'm really not talking about a lot there. So, you know, it would be a slight adjustment on the general fund to get it to work out.
Okay.
But I think we could make that work if that's what we want to do on it. So yeah, unless you guys have got any other instructions of things you want to see or how you want something handled, I'll just go with that plan. And hopefully next week, then I will have a completed copy of the budget ready to publish and bring that in so we can take a final look at it before it goes in the paper.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I think that's really all I had today.
You got anything else?
Nothing else, except, getting some pictures taken here, so
Take her picture.
she's doing it right now.
So I see Miami County announced in the paper, I read it online, that they went revenue neutral. I thought that was good. And they actually included a pay raise for their employees as well. So I don't think we're the abnormal. I think it's going to be more counties this year go revenue neutral than the very first year last year. So
David, I saw that Franklin County had their hearing set for the 22nd of August, of September, so that would mean they're not going to be revenue.
Yeah, that would be in the time period where it was going over if they're going that late with the hearing.
yep. Okay.
Yeah, if you were going over, then you couldn't have your hearing before August 20th, and then you're supposed to have it by, I think it's September 20th, and then that may just be a timing thing. I haven't looked at what day of the week the 20th of September's on. And really, when it gets down to that point, it's how much time does the clerk have to work with it to get ready for the tax roll. So if it's a day or two past, it's not a big deal typically.
Good.
I don't have anything.
Are you guys here to talk about the budget or something? Pretty sure.
Just checking up on you.
Well, that's it.
That's all I've got.
You don't want to leave? Short.
I'll make a motion with adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nobody want to hear you.